Hey, this is Sasha, and welcome to another episode on Backstage Income, where I share with you how to build and grow a profitable business. Now, in today's episode, I want to share with you why you don't have to be a top dog or the best in your industry to help other people, whether it comes to blogging, creating YouTube videos, writing ebooks, whatever the case may be. You don't have to be the best to be able to be helpful, valuable, and to even profit from it or make money from it. So I'll share with you a little story back in the day when I used to do a lot more martial arts and teaching. And if you don't know the way the belt system works, and of course it's different in every dojo, but let's just say you have white belt, you have yellow belt. We'll just go to blue belt, green belt. Let's just skip a few, go to brown, and then black belt. And for some, you have red in here, but we'll just do red beyond black. Okay, so here is kind of the belt system that you have when it comes to a general martial arts system. Of course, any dojo can change that up or structure depending on their needs, their wants, and the way they run their school. But really, the way that it works is that usually the darker you go, the more dirt, sweat that you've put into the system and working out hard. So when you're new, you're kind of pure and you don't have as much knowledge. And then later, as you continue to grow, going to yellow belt, blue belt, green belt, brown belt, black belt, and so on, you're really basically evolving and you become really good, right? So back when we were studying and I was teaching and I was running my own school, you know, you would often want to work with the black belts, right? If you're a white belt, you're like, oh wow, they're a black belt, I want to work with them. But you get to learn a lot of knowledge and information. So this is kind of a good thing when a white belt wants to work with a black belt. But unfortunately, there's only so much time and so much energy that a black belt has, right? You can't devote all your energy to white belts and then yellow belts and blue belts, green belts, and brown belts. So instead, the way that things often worked out, especially in a school that becomes very busy, is that sometimes you'll have one or two levels that are above you that may be helping you out. And it doesn't mean it's happening all of the time, but maybe for certain exercises, for 10-minute, 20-minute segments, question and answer section. So what you might end up doing is, let's say, okay, you're the white belt. Well, maybe you go ahead and get help from the blue belts. So here, the blue belt would help the white belt. Okay, then what you might have is the green belt might help the yellow belt. Okay, then here you might have the brown belt that helps the blue belt. So it kind of works in this manner, and you know, the black belt might help the brown belt and the green belt. So you're just trying to allocate the different resources into what you have and what's available. And my point here is to show you that you don't have to be a Jordan or a Michael Jordan to be able to help kids play basketball. All you need to do is be a step or two above the other people to help them out. So take, for example, learning how to create art with wood. So if you're starting kind of a woodworking blog, okay, you might not be the best woodworker. You might not have art that's sitting in a museum, but did you read maybe 2 books, and have you practiced and maybe created a few pieces, right? So as you've made things, worked on things, you might be a step above some people. So you have a lot of people always at the base. So think of this like kids playing soccer that are just getting started, maybe 5 years old, 6 years old. There's a lot of people at the base. There's always more white belts than brown belts or green belts or black belts. That's just because more people are starting and there's that turnover ratio, right? Eventually, so as the ladder continues, the next level, so let's say level 2, you have a little bit less people here. So as that continues to grow, you have less and less people. And in fact, if you're looking to build a business, it's a very good idea to cater towards the beginners, right? So if you're focusing a lot on the beginners or people just starting out, there's many more of them, right? So you might want to go out and say, hey, well, I know all this stuff about woodworking and I want to make it so complicated and this piece takes a month to make and you got to know how to use all these tools to perfection. And that may be really great for, let's just say, brown belts or black belts. But the thing is there might be, let's say, in a school, you might have 10 brown belts. Let's say you have 20 green belts, let's say 25 blue belts, 35 here, and maybe 60 white belts, and maybe 5 black belts, maybe 1 or 2 main instructors or a red belt. So if you're starting a business and you're talking about woodworking or martial arts, you know, it's good to go after, hey, I may feel empowered to go after the brown belts or the black belts or the green belts because it makes me feel more powerful. It makes me feel more knowledgeable. But the thing is my customer base is these white belts. It's almost twice as many as the yellow belts. So if I focus on white and yellow, that's about 95 people that are happy compared to 20, 40, 50. I mean, these are the long-term customers, right? So when you have the blue belts, the green belts, the brown belts, the black belts, these are the long-term customers and they've been there for a while. So if you look at the length of a customer, you know, you do want the long-term customers. But the thing is when you're putting your focus on the marketing or creating content, or if you're scared about, hey, you know, I'm just brand new to YouTube, I'm brand new to blogging, I'm brand new to making money online, I'm brand new to playing basketball, martial arts, whatever the case may be, if you just go out and help other people, it'll take your level a little bit further because you learn from working with other people. And all you need to be is just a step above so that you could help this batch. And if you're over here a little bit higher, you could help the next batch. And if you're at the highest point, well, you could of course help many, many more people. But your goal is to pass that knowledge down. And as you pass that knowledge down from one person to the next to the third, that's really what happens, is the hall of continuing learning and development. You're constantly passing that knowledge, you know, from one step to the next to the third. If you're brand new, if you're just starting out in a blog business, if you're starting out in educating people and sharing with what you do, sharing your message and connecting with other people, you don't have to be the best. Don't worry about being the best. Worry about connecting with your demographic, with your audience, with your targeted customers that are meant for you. And if you're not the best in your field, that's okay. There can only be one best tennis player. There can only be one best basketball player. And think about it. How do all the other little kids go play soccer, play basketball, play hockey? They don't have the best instructor out there. They have a great instructor. They may have someone that can relate to them, understand them, and just motivate them to take them further. So that's what you need to do with your audience and your customers. So thank you so much for joining me in this week's video. I hope it motivated you to go further and start creating new content, new products, and connecting with other people. If you enjoyed this video lesson, be sure to connect with me on my newsletter by clicking this link right here. Enter your name and email address when you get there, and that way you can get notified as I release new books, courses, products, discounts, and other great free training videos like this one. Thanks again, and remember, do what you love, contribute to other people, but most importantly, live life abundantly. I'll see you next time.